Hello, Joshua Inman here. I just wanted to talk to you today about the love of God. And sometimes when God, I believe, when God created the family unit, He wanted our parents to be an extension of the love of God to us. And when we have a functioning, healthy family unit, people understand that God loves them. But when there's a breakdown in that in a dysfunctional family unit, we put, I think unintentionally, we subconsciously put our dysfunctional parents in the place of God in terms of we view God through the lens of our parents and through the dysfunction of that. And I grew up in the church. My parents, I do believe my parents loved me the best they could, but they were broken people. And my dad left when I was about 13 years old, and he left our family for another woman. And what I didn't understand was I was viewing God through the lens of my father. And so I believed that God loved me, and I grew up in the church hearing that, but it kind of became cliche after a while. Oh yeah, God is love, 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 but we don't always fully understand what that means. And I believed God was angry at me for all my sin, and I felt like He was this ogre up in the sky with this hammer, ready to drop the hammer on me for all my sins that I'd been committing. I was a sex addict. I was a porn addict. Um, when I say a sex addict, I was a porn addict, sexual addiction, and I just felt like I had failed God so utterly that, He was just waiting to pound me if I came into His presence. But, the Bible is full of passages about the love of God. And somehow, when I read the Bible through my broken lens and my broken understanding, I somehow it filtered out the love of God to me. But when I was, the Bible talks about coming into the throne room of God with boldness, but I was terrified because I thought He was going to drop this hammer on me. And what God showed me was that the hammer fell on Jesus when Jesus died for my sins. So He wasn't going to drop the hammer on me. And I was also believing lies about God from the devil, who told me that if I came to God, that He would drop this hammer of judgment on me. But as I pushed through the fear and I started to spend quality time with God in silence, through worship and in silence in my own personal time with God, I found Him waiting to love me. He wasn't going to drop the hammer on me because it fell on Jesus. So He was just waiting for me to come to Him so He could put my life back together. But I didn't understand that. And so He started to untangle the lies and misconceptions that I had about Him. And He showed me there was a time when I had fallen into my masturbation for the 1 billionth time. And I said to Him, "Why are you still around? I don't understand it." And He said, "Because I'm not your father." And that simple statement showed me that I was waiting for God to leave me because my father left. And I believe that we all have faulty understanding of God because of our imperfect parents, and we view God through the lens of our parents. And so God has been in the process of untangling those misconceptions and lies that I believed about Him. And He showed me how much I truly am loved. He showed me that my pain mattered and that I mattered, because not only did my dad leave, but right after that I went to junior high, where I was horribly bullied. And for 3 years, I dealt with a lot of really horrible bullying. And so all of those things told me that I didn't matter. But God had to untangle those lies and misconceptions. And He showed me one night, He broke through my delusions, and He showed me an image, a vision, if you will, of Him standing in between me and the bullies, and that He was taking the brunt of the bullying that I couldn't see. And He was there all along, and He never left me, and He never forsook me, even though I felt that way at times back when I was a kid in school. But He showed me my pain mattered, and that I mattered, and that there is nothing that I've gone through that He has not seen, and there's nothing that no amount of hurt or pain in my life that he doesn't want to bring restoration and healing to, if I will be brave enough and allow him to come in and show me the root causes of these wounds that he wants to bring healing and restoration to. Some of those processes hurt, and it can be very difficult and painful to go through and deal with, but he is there to bring healing and restoration if we're brave enough to go there with him. And so I just want to encourage you to spend time with God. Don't live distracted. I lived a distracted life for so many years, and I was cheated out of like 20 years of a relationship with God because I ran out of fear, because I believed the lies the enemy was telling me. I wrote a book that's pictured behind me called Identity Lost and Found. It's available on Amazon or my personal website. And through it, I explain how I got stuck and the places that the lies and misconceptions I'd come to, but I also show the journey that God took me on to set me free and to change my life. And I hope it's a blessing to you if you choose to get and read that. But never give up on God, never stop going after him. Maybe you believe that, like I did, that God isn't pleased with you, that he doesn't love you. It's all lies. And if God showed me, he showed me a picture of a king and queen, an earthly king and queen. And when you go into their presence, you have to stand on ceremony and do certain things and bow certain ways, and you have to do things perfectly. And he said to me, I am not an earthly king. And he said, if you cannot come into my presence and jump into my lap as a little child with their father, then there's something wrong in our relationship, and it's not on my end. And it showed me that I had all these things built up that needed to get wiped away and washed away so that I could receive his love and that he could reveal himself to me. And but I had to be brave enough to enter the throne room and just be quiet in his presence and allow him to do that. And it was very scary at first, but he was very patient with me. And don't let the devil cheat you out of years of a relationship with God, because you matter, your pain matters, and he wants to bring healing to you more than you want it. And sometimes we want healing and freedom in theory, but once we start going through the process, it's like, oh gosh, maybe I don't want to deal with this. But trust me, the journey that it takes to go through that is so worth it. He won my heart on so many levels when he started bringing healing to me, and everything that he's done has made me trust him and love him on a deeper level. So I just hope this is an encouragement to you.